India became the fourth country to reach the moon. Chandrayaan-3 soft landing on the south pole of the moon. India became the first country to do this. Post Office Bill 2023 introduced in Rajya Sabha. The law of 1898 will be repealed. Now the post office will be able to issue stamps. RBI released the sanctioned projects report. 80% increase in new investment schemes. Uttar Pradesh topped in the terms of investment. The Hilary storm took everyone by surprise. Heavy devastation in America. The last time such a storm came in the year 1858. And Aqueduct Water Risk Atlas report shared by Water Resources Institute. 25 countries are facing severe water crisis annually. India is also included in the list. Recently, India hoisted its glory in the space sector. India became the fourth country to set foot on the surface of the moon. Before India, America, China, and Russia have achieved this feat. But India is the first country in the world to reach the south pole of the moon. It is noteworthy that while creating history on August 23, Chandrayaan-3 made a soft landing on the surface of the moon at 6:30 p.m. IST. Chandrayaan-3, built by ISRO, consists of a lander and a rover. The lander has been named Vikram after the founder of ISRO, Vikram Sarabhai. The rover involved in the mission has been named Pragyan. Pragyan is a Sanskrit word which means wisdom. ISRO's logo and Ashoka pillar are printed on the wheels of the rover. India has left its indelible mark on the lunar soil through the wheels of the rover. Many types of equipment have been installed on the lander Vikram and the rover to study the surface of the moon. One of them is Rambha, that is radio anatomy of moon-bound hypersensitive ionosphere and atmosphere. Through this, the electrons and ions present on the surface of the moon will be studied. The thermal properties of the moon's polar region will be studied through Chandra's Surface Thermophysical Experiment instrument. In addition, the instrument for lunar seismic activity will measure lunar earthquakes near the landing site. Also, information on the composition of the moon's crust and mantle will be collected. Along with this, the presence of elements like magnesium, aluminium, silicon, potassium, calcium, titanium, and iron in the lunar soil and rocks will be detected through the alpha particle X-ray spectrometer. Significantly earlier, India's Chandrayaan-2 mission was not completely successful, and India's first moon mission was launched in the year 2008. The corona pandemic, which was started in December 2019, had caused tremendous devastation in the world. Since then, a new information about this pandemic keeps coming to the fore. Meanwhile, a new variant of the COVID-19 virus has emerged, which has been named as BA.2.86. Patients infected with BA.2.86 have been found in countries like Israel, Denmark, USA, and UK. After the detection of only 3 cases, the World Health Organization has declared it as an under-monitoring variant. Under this, the spread and symptoms of this variant are being monitored. However, patients of this new variant of corona have not been found in India so far. Let us tell you that considering the seriousness of the disease, WHO includes any COVID-19 variant in the list of under-monitoring variant. According to experts, like the previous variants, BA.2.86 is also an airborne virus. This variant can spread through sneezing and contact with an infected person. However, the facts related to how deadly BA.2.86 is compared to the previous variants have not been revealed yet. Let us tell you that WHO monitors different COVID variants under 3 categories. These are variants of concern, variants of interest, and under monitoring variants. Under variants of interest, the severity of the variant and its prevalence are monitored. Also, the impact of the variant on public health is reviewed. On the other hand, if we talk about variants of concern, under this the risks arising from the variant are assessed. In addition, guidelines are issued to health systems for the care of afflicted patients. The spread and symptoms of the variant are monitored under the variant under monitoring. A 3D printed post office building was recently inaugurated in the Cambridge layout of the city of Bengaluru, India. The inauguration was done from the General Post Office building. The post office has been constructed by Larsen & Toubro Limited in technical collaboration with IIT Madras. This is the first ever building in which 3D technology has been used. This technology is able to control the temperature of the walls, which can reduce energy consumption for heating or cooling. In this technology, 30% fly ash has been used as raw material. At the same time, this technology generates less noise as compared to traditional construction methods. Along with this, carbon emissions are reduced from the materials used in it. This is the reason why it is considered to be eco-friendly. Apart from reducing the cost of this technique, it also saves time. American engineer Chuck Hull of 3D Systems Corporation is credited with inventing 3D printing in 1983. Around the year 2010, efforts were made to remove all the flaws present in it and connect it with the mainstream. At present, there is a continuous increase in its trend. This technology is also being used on a wide scale in the fields of manufacturing, education, space, and security. Various technologies are used in this technique. These include fused deposition modeling, stereolithography, selective laser sintering, power bed fusion, and inkjet printing. Recently, the Post Office Bill 2023 was introduced in the Rajya Sabha. The bill provides for matters relating to the functioning of the post office. The bill repeals the Indian Post Office Act 1898. According to the Act, wherever the central government establishes a post office, it will get the privilege of casual services like sending letters, collecting letters, while no such privilege has been provided in the bill. According to the Act, postage stamps are issued by the central government, while according to the bill, the post office will have the privilege of issuing stamps. In case of any emergency, the shipment sent through post can be stopped. The central government, state government, or any other officer, especially authorized by them, can stop this shipment, whereas in the bill, the officer authorized by the central government can stop the shipment through notification. Under this Act, the officer in charge of the post office can examine any suspicious shipment. The officer may send a notice to the addressee to join the inquiry in person or by an agent. If the addressee does not attend the inquiry, the Director General may direct the presence of 2 witnesses. However, this process has been removed in the bill. Under the Act, various offences such as theft, falsification of postal articles are punishable with imprisonment of up to 7 years and fine. Also, sending prohibited items through post can be punished with imprisonment of up to 1 year or fine or both. But in the bill, only the amounts not paid by the user have been classified as offences and will be recovered as land revenue. Recently, the Advocates Amendment Bill 2023 has been passed by the Rajya Sabha. The proposed bill seeks to amend the Advocates Act 1961. The bill provides that every High Court, District Judge, Sessions Judge, District Magistrate and Revenue Officer may prepare and publish a list of touts. A tout or middleman is a person who himself offers or receives an offer to provide employment to a lawyer in some legal business. Intermediaries also receive payment for this work. The officers who prepare the list of middlemen can order the subordinate court to investigate such persons who are suspected to be the middlemen. Once such a person is proven to be a tout, his name may be included by the authority in the list of touts. No person will be included in such list without getting an opportunity of showing cause against his inclusion. As per the provisions, such persons named in the list of intermediaries shall be excluded from entry into the court premises. Also, there is a provision to punish on the violation of this law with imprisonment of up to 3 months or fine up to ₹500 or both. Recently, the Offshore Areas Mineral Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2023 was passed by the Parliament. The bill amends the Offshore Areas Mineral Development and Regulation Act of 2002. Under the bill, a composite license will be granted for exploration and production rights. Under the composite license, the license will be required to complete exploration within 3 years. This may be extended by 2 years upon application by the licensee. Under the Act, a production lease is granted for a period of up to 30 years. It may be further renewed for up to 20 years. The bill instead provides that a production lease as well as a production lease under a composite license will be valid for 50 years. The bill adds that in case of atomic minerals, exploration, production and composite licenses will be granted only to the government or government companies. Atomic minerals are defined in the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957. These include rare earth minerals containing uranium or thorium, pitch blende and uranium ores, and uraniferous ellenite, monazite and other thorium minerals. According to the bill, it has been made mandatory for private institutions to bid competitively for licenses and production leases. Along with this, all those licenses and production leases will be invalidated in the bill whose applications were made before the bill came into effect. Under the Act, the size of a block for offshore mining was 5 minutes latitude by 5 minutes longitude, while in the bill it has been reduced to 1 minute latitude by 1 minute longitude. According to the bill, an offshore area mineral trust will be set up. The concession holder will pay the amount to the trust. This fund will be used for purposes such as exploration in offshore areas, mitigating the adverse effects of mining and providing relief in times of disaster. The Act provides for imprisonment of up to 5 years and a fine of up to Rs 50,000 or both for any activity without a license. At the same time, under the amendment bill, the amount of fine has been increased from 5 to 10 lakh rupees. Reserve Bank of India has shared a report related to projects sanctioned by financial institutions. According to RBI, there has been more capital expenditure in the year 2022 to 2023 than in last 8 years. With this, an increase of about 80% has been registered in the new investment schemes. In this, 57% share was of 5 states. The list of these 5 states includes Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Odisha, Maharashtra and Karnataka. According to RBI data, Uttar Pradesh has the highest share of 16.2% in the total cost of projects sanctioned by banks and financial institutions. Uttar Pradesh has made an investment of Rs 43,180 crore. At the same time, Gujarat is in second place with 14% share. Apart from these, the third, fourth and fifth places were occupied by Odisha, Maharashtra and Karnataka respectively. On the other hand, the performance of some states in bank-assisted projects has been very poor. Kerala, Goa and Assam have secured the bottom position in the list for receiving new investments. As per the report, Kerala received only 0.9% of the total investment plans. On the other hand, Assam has got only 0.7% and Goa only 0.8%. Besides this, Haryana and West Bengal also failed to get several investment projects. These states have secured only 1% of the total projects. Let us tell you that during the year 2022-23, 547 projects received assistance from banks and financial institutions whose value is approximately Rs 2,66,547 crore. Whereas during the year 2021-22, only 401 projects got assistance from financial institutions. It was also informed that investment in greenfield projects would account for about 93.1% of the total cost of projects financed by the bank during 2022-23. Recently, Hurricane Hilary caused havoc in America. Although hurricanes are nothing new in the US, Hurricane Hilary was quite different. Significantly, the arrival of tropical storms in the Southern California is an unusual phenomenon. According to the report, the last time a tropical storm hit Southern California was in the year 1858. Notably, the first condition for the formation of a tropical storm is that the seawater temperature should be above 26 degrees Celsius. A storm will not form at temperatures below this limit. Also, low air pressure on the sea surface plays an important role in the development of storms. Higher sea surface temperatures can make hurricanes and tropical cyclones more intense. Warmer temperature increase the rate of evaporation as well as the transfer of heat from the oceans to the air. When hurricanes travel over warm oceans, they collect more water vapor and heat. As a result, storms can bring high winds, heavy rainfall and more flooding when they make landfall. Hurricane Hilary has hit the west coast of America. Let us tell you that the west coast of America is cold. In the Pacific along the west coast, the cold current moves cold water from higher latitudes towards the equatorial regions. This further reduces the chances of a storm formation. According to scientists, due to climate change, we are witnessing this unusual geographical phenomenon. It is believed that the oceans have absorbed 90% of the excess heat generated by greenhouse gas emissions. As a result, the average sea surface temperature has increased by 0.9 degrees Celsius since 1850 and by 0.6 degrees Celsius in the last 4 decades. According to media reports, China is trying to enter the Indian border through Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is considering allowing the Chinese ship to stay in the country. India's concern has increased due to this move of Sri Lanka. In fact, the Chinese research vessel Shiyan-6 is expected to reach Sri Lanka in October for marine research activities. However, no date has been fixed for the visit yet. The Chinese research vessel Shiyan-6 is a survey vessel with a tonnage of 1,115 DWT or dead weight tonnage. Its total length is said to be 90.6 meters and width is 17 meters. In this statement, India has raised apprehensions that the ship's tracking systems may attempt to spy on Indian defense installations en route to Sri Lankan ports. Actually, this is not the first time that China has indirectly tried to enter the Indian border. Last year also, the Chinese spy ship Yuan Wang 5 had arrived at Sri Lanka's Hambantota port. The news of the Chinese ship's stay triggered a major diplomatic confrontation between India and Sri Lanka. Significantly, Sri Lanka is currently growing through an economic recession. In such a situation, along with other countries of the world, China and India have also helped it out to get it out of the financial crisis. But Sri Lanka is a big debtor of China. With this indebtedness, China is engaged in serving its own interest. Recently, WRI, that is World Resources Institute, has shared the report related to global water crisis. The report, titled Aqueduct Water Risk Atlas, states that currently 25 countries face extremely high water stress annually. This list of 25 countries includes countries like Bahrain, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, South Africa, including India. According to statistics, a quarter of the world's population uses more than 80% of the renewable water supply for irrigation, livestock industry, and domestic needs. Let us tell you that renewable water refers to such water which is continuously replenished. Renewable water sources mainly include precipitation in the form of rain and snow. About 3% of the surface water on Earth is present in the form of renewable water. The WRI report states that globally, about 50% of the world's population lives under conditions of extreme water scarcity for at least 1 month of the year. By the year 2050, this number can reach close to 60%. According to the study, by the year 2050, the global water demand is expected to increase by about 20 to 25%. According to statistics, by 2050, 31% of the global GDP, that is gross domestic product, will be affected by the water crisis. Along with this, it has been told in the research that due to the 4 countries of the world, more than half of the global GDP will be affected. These 4 countries are India, Mexico, Egypt, and Turkey. Let us tell you that an area is said to be in water stress when the demand for water exceeds the available quantity. Also, people are constrained to use poor quality water. However, India has taken tough steps to overcome the water crisis. The Government of India launched the Jal Shakti Abhiyan in 2019 with the aim of improving the availability, conservation, and quality of water. Apart from this, emphasis has been laid on water conservation and economical use of water through Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Atal Bhujal Yojana, etc. Recently, India's Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia launched GIDH, that is Global Initiative on Digital Health. The program was launched during the meeting of the health ministers of the G20 countries. GIDH will be a network managed by the World Health Organization. It will mainly focus on 4 basic pillars. The record of the digital health system of any country will be kept through these 4 fundamental pillars. The data will be entered with the help of the tracker as the first column. At the second level, each country's own resource portal will be created, which will have health-related data. At the third level, a transformation toolbox will be set up. The fourth and final level involves gathering information as well as sharing it among themselves. Apart from this, a report titled Digital in Health: Unlocking the Value for Everyone was also shared in the meeting of health ministers of G20 countries. This report has been released by the World Bank. The report focuses on health financing, service delivery, diagnostics, medical education, pandemic preparedness, climate, and health efforts. The report also pointed out that health systems around the world use less than 5% of the available health data, which means healthcare decisions are not based on data. The report also found that digital technology and data are especially helpful in preventing and managing chronic diseases. According to the World Bank, evidence-based digital investment can save up to 15% of the country's health system cost. Let us now look at the 5 questions based on the bulletin. Questions based on today's bulletin are: first question is, with reference to India's Chandrayaan-3 mission, consider the following statements. 1. Chandrayaan-3 has made a soft landing on the north pole of the moon. 2. The mission consists of a lander and rover. 3. The lander involved in the mission has been named Pragyan and the rover named Vikram. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding 3D printing technology. 1. 3D printing was invented in 1983 by American engineer Chuck Hull. 2. This technology is being used on a wide scale in the fields of manufacturing, education, space, and security. 3. Recently, the post office building in Bengaluru became the world's first 3D printed building. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none. Next question is, with reference to capital outlay report, consider the following statements. 1. This report has been released by Niti Aayog. 2. According to this report, Tamil Nadu has made maximum investment in new investment schemes in the year 2022-23. 3. Bihar is at the last place in this report. 4. According to the report, there has been an increase of about 80% in new investment plans. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 4, or none. Next question is, consider the following statements related to American Hurricane Hilary. 1. It comes under the category of tropical cyclone. 2. It originated in the Atlantic Ocean. 3. It originated in the cold region of the ocean. How many of the above statements are not correct? Only 1, only 2, only 3, or none. Last question is, with respect to the Aqueduct Water Risk Atlas report, consider the following statements. 1. It is issued by the World Bank. 2. According to this, 25 countries are facing severe water crisis on an annual basis. 3. India is not included in the list of countries facing water crisis. How many of the above statements are not correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none. Recently, the Central Water Commission launched an app called Flood Watch. Its speciality is that it can forecast the possibilities of flood a day in advance. The app also provides 7-day advisories on flood chances at various stations in the country. A map of India has been created in the app, in which water stations across the country are represented by different colored circles, in which the circle made of green color indicates normal condition, while yellow color indicates above normal, orange indicates severe, and red indicates extremely severe danger. FloodWatch uses advanced technologies such as satellite data analysis and real-time monitoring for accurate and timely flood forecasting. Recently, World Water Week was organized. Water Week was celebrated from 20 August to 24 August. The theme of this year's World Water Week was Seeds of Change. Significantly, the World Water Week started in the year 1991. It was initiated by the Stockholm International Water Institute with the aim of addressing global water issues and concerns related to international development. Let us tell you that where World Water Week is organized mainly in August, World Water Day is celebrated every year on 22nd March. Recently, Science Minister Jitendra Singh unveiled a lotus variety named Namoho 108 at a function of National Botanical Research Institute. This lotus with 108 petals is very special. This species of flower was found in Manipur. The genome of the flower has been sequenced. It is the only lotus variety in India whose genome has been sequenced. Whereas the lotus has been named Namoho, which is a Sanskrit word, let us tell you that the meaning of Namoho in Hindi is salute. The United States Food and Drug Administration has recently approved the first vaccine for respiratory syncytial virus for newborns. It is manufactured by Pfizer. The vaccine is given to mother towards the end of their pregnancy. It provides protection to babies for the first 6 months of their life. Let us tell you that respiratory syncytial virus is a type of respiratory virus. It affects the lungs and respiratory system of the person. Children and the elderly are usually affected by this disease. Most of its cases show symptoms like common cold, but in extreme cases, it takes the form of pneumonia and bronchiolitis. Recently, Stanford has released a report called Artificial Intelligence Index 2023. According to the report, in the year 2022, software developers in India contributed more than 24% of AI-related projects on GitHub. whereas the European Union and the United Kingdom contributed 17.3% and the United States contributed 14%. According to the report, there has been a significant increase in AI publications, which has increased from 2 lakh in 2010 to about 5 lakhs by the year 2021. Also, there has been a steady increase in the number of AI-related projects on GitHub since 2011, from 1,536 projects in 2011 to 3,47,934 in 2022. Recently, the Election Commission has signed an MOU with former cricketer Mr. Sachin Tendulkar in New Delhi. Under the agreement, Sachin Tendulkar will become the national icon of the Election Commission. This agreement has been made for 3 years. The Election Commission says that Sachin Tendulkar will create awareness among people to increase voter participation. Also, the main objective of this agreement is to bridge the gap that exists, especially between the urban population and the electoral process. Let us inform you that last year, actor Pankaj Tripathi became a national icon. Recently, International Institute for Sustainable Development released a study report. The title of the study is "Fanning the Flames, G20 Provides Record Financial Support for Fossil Fuels." Accordingly, G20 members have provided nearly Rs 116 lakh crore in public money in 2022 to support fossil fuels. This report has come when climate change has been included in the meeting being held for the summit. These figures come at a time when G20 governments are spending massive amounts of public money on fossil fuels despite the increasingly devastating effects of climate change. Light combat aircraft LSP-7 Tejas successfully flight tested the indigenous beyond visual range air-to-air missile Astra on 23rd August off the coast of Goa. This missile was successfully tested at an altitude of about 20,000 feet. Astra, a state-of-the-art BVR air-to-air missile capable of engaging and destroying supersonic aerial targets with high maneuverability. The missile has been designed and developed by Defense Research and Development Laboratory, Research Center Imarat and other laboratories of DRDO. Recently, a SOP, that is Standard Operating Procedure, was signed between the Indian Navy and the Philippine Coast Guard. This SOP deals with the exchange of wide shipping information. Let us tell you that data on the identity, location and movement of ships is shared under wide shipping information. The objective of this MOU is to enhance professional relations between the two coast guards in the field of maritime law enforcement, marine pollution response. The agreement will facilitate exchange of information on merchant shipping traffic. It will also promote bilateral cooperation between the two countries to ensure safe and clean seas in the region. Recently, Indian Navy ship INS Sunana arrived at Durban port in South Africa. The visit was organized to mark 30 years of diplomatic relations between India and South Africa. The ship undertook passage exercise with South African Navy ship SAS King Sekhukhune 1 off Durban. The visit aimed at enhancing cooperation between the two navies. During the visit, both the navies will also share their experiences through interactions.